Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. In today's video, I'm gonna do a set that's gonna be perfect for Easter, perfect for spring, and is this one. And I think it's absolutely adorable. I mean, that's my opinion. You can have another one if you want, but I love this set so much. It's so cute, and also I sound a bit rough because I am a bit rough, so just ignore that. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how to create this little bunny. I'm gonna show you how to create these lovely spring flowers kind of thing, and I really love this set, and I hope you guys will too. I love it, and it's so easy to do, honestly. Again, I know it doesn't look easy, but it is. It really is. So I hope you guys are going to try this for yourselves and see. And I hope you're gonna enjoy today's video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know how I did. Share this with your friends, subscribe to my channel, all the stuff. Yeah, with all of that said, let's do some nails. I'm first going to start off with the Kirsty Mickey and Gel Polish collection, and I'm gonna use Suki and Whiteout. And I'm gonna mix these two together because Suki is a very vibrant green, as you can see here. And I don't know why my camera kept on like focusing and out of focus. It's just the first few seconds, to be honest. It's gonna come back to normal. I don't know what was wrong with it, but yeah, I mixed some of that white out into that green just because, again, I wanted kind of pale green, and I didn't get that, so I'm just trying to make kind of a pastel color. And then I'm gonna use this Cat 2 brush from Ink London, and my camera should go back to its normal after this. I don't know what was wrong with it. It was so weird, though. I just couldn't get the proper shot. But anyway, I'm applying 2 layers of that mixture that I just created. I'm curing each for 30 seconds, which means full cure in my lamp. And I'm using that brush to apply it because I didn't want to dirty any of the brushes from the bottles. Then I'm gonna use Lily, Cotton Candy, Ness, and Deca, and I'm using quite a few colors, as you're gonna see, because this is gonna be very colorful. And what I'm showing you here is me drying that brush kind of as much as I can. So we're gonna do a bit of dry brushing now. So you can see that there's barely any product in there, and I'm not applying a lot of pressure, and it's exactly what I wanted. That texture that dry brushing gives you, I think it's absolutely incredible. The thing that I really want to mention is the fact that I am curing in between layers. So I went in with the blue first, I cured fully. Now I'm going in with the yellow because obviously I am layering these in some places, so they really need to be cured just to make sure you don't have any uncured places or any mixing of the colors, because I don't think that would be very pretty with certain combinations. So yeah, I'm just using all the colors that I told you earlier, and I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm removing most of the product from the brush, and then I'm just basically brushing over the nail and layering over the rest of the colors. And you can see it already has quite a nice, I don't know, I really love dry brushing, and you've seen me using it before. It has such a nice texture to it, and you can see here all 3 nails, because I didn't think I should show you all of them because it's a bit boring, and I'm going in with the matte top coat just to make sure that I have a nice layer to paint on, and also to make sure that I am making this as smooth of a surface as possible. Then I'm gonna use Hot Tips Beauty, and I'm gonna use the white, then Lollipop, Flamingo, I forgot how the white is called, by the way, I just saw it but I forgot, Vinca, Country Green, and the blue, no, Lotus Love, and come on, and Blue Poppy. And all these colors I've put on my palette just because it's gonna be a lot easier for me to work from my palette, and I'm not kind of mixing colors anyway in the pot. And then I'm gonna use my two brushes that I always use. So both of them are from Glitterbels. One is a gel brush that is a bit thicker, and one is one of their liners and is the middle length one. And now I'm just kind of doing, you know, a few lines, as you saw, like a little star kind of. And you can leave it or you can cure it if you want to make sure that you don't mess up. And then on my palette, as you just saw, I took a little bit of that white and I dragged it through the blue, and this is gonna create this kind of textured color. Is not going to like mix it completely. You're gonna have some strokes of white in there and some of the blue, and I think that's absolutely incredible. The texture looks so good when it's done, you know, and it's again exactly what I wanted. So you're gonna see me doing that with the purple in a minute as well, the same thing. And now I'm just using that pink, and I'm creating another flower there. It doesn't have to be perfect, like nothing needs to be perfect. They are gonna look absolutely fantastic from a distance and even from up close. So to be honest, yeah. And as I said, it's I use the same technique for that purple, and I'm just, you know, creating a flower there as well. And then with the orange, I'm just doing this like stippling technique that again you've seen me using quite a few times in my flower tutorials, and I absolutely love this technique. It looks so good with anything. It adds a bit of different texture, and then I'm adding some of that white straight on top of that orange without curing the orange beforehand, so it's you know, quite like bulky, the difference between the colors, which is exactly what I wanted. That adds a bit of highlight, adds a bit of dimension, and yeah, it just looks so pretty. I love it. Then I'm gonna put some yellow in the middle of those white flowers. When you're creating something like this, you want different textures and different sizes, so having small flowers and big flowers, and you know, they're like all from the field, and they have different colors, and I absolutely love these type of designs. They're just so cute and so colorful, and yeah, anyway, no one asked for my opinion, so that's fine. But yeah, you saw me adding middles to some of the flowers, and then I'm going to add now some leaves, and with some of the bigger leaves I'm gonna add a bit of white through the green as well in a second. But first I'm kind of putting the green where I want it, and I absolutely love this country green. It's just so pretty. It's so dark and, I don't know, full. I can't explain. It's just such a beautiful color. But yeah, I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm adding some leaves, I'm adding some stems to all the flowers, just to make sure that they're not just floating into space there, and all of them can be a bit different. That was a bit of a mistake, I would say, with that, you know, stem from the small flower. But at the end of the day, you know what, they're flowers that grow in a field. They're not perfect, so I don't care. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that I don't necessarily like, but it's fine. It just does its job, you know. I should have maybe done it a bit differently, but that's fine. So I'm continuing to do that all over. I'm adding the leaves on all the stems, and you know, again, they don't have to be perfect. And then I'm gonna add another leaf right there because I felt like that needed another leaf, and I completely forgot how these flowers are called. I don't know why. I know how they're called in my language, I just don't know how they're called in English, so yeah. After that is all cured fully, and that's 60 seconds in my lamp, so you know, just look at your lamp and see. Then I'm applying another layer of that matte top coat, and this is how they all look cured and, you know, with the matte top coat on top. Then I'm moving on to the next nail, and I'm doing exactly the same thing, except this time I'm gonna move the flower positions around a little bit. I am going to, however, do kind of the same flowers with the same colors, if that makes sense, because I want some continuity and I want them to be, to make sense when you look at them and be like, oh yeah, this is the same flower. So I'm not doing anything really, really crazy. I'm not adding any other textures. I think the textures that I added in the first nail were enough for this set because it's extremely colorful. So yeah, I felt like that was enough, and then I decided to do the same thing on the second nail. Honestly, this doesn't take long at all. I know it looks very complicated from a distance and very overwhelming, but honestly, it does not take long. It's such an easy design to do, and it's so beautiful. And it's quick, it's really quick. And you do a couple of these and they don't have to be perfect. You have to take that out of your head. And when you realize that they don't have to be perfect and they can be a bit, wonky and whatever, then you're gonna realize how easy it is to make them and to repeat the same thing over and over again, if that makes sense. So just do it. Just try them and see how it goes for yourself, and I'm sure it's gonna all look perfect. So yeah, now as you see, I'm just adding stems, I'm adding leaves on these. Again, with the bigger leaves, I'm adding some white through it just to play a little bit with the texture of the leaf. And then there, I felt like it was a bit too busy, so I didn't add many leaves on the small flowers, on both of the bunches of small flowers. So yeah. Then I'm adding a matte top coat and I'm curing, and this is how they look, and I think they are so pretty. They're just gorgeous. Then for the rabbit, I am just gonna create kind of this bell shape with the bottom half a bit more rounded a little bit, just to create those little cheeks that are absolutely adorable. And I feel like my rabbit came out a little bit like the top of his head is a bit weird, but to be honest, I love him. He is special in his own way. So yeah, I do love him. You can also sketch him with a pencil and then paint over the top. I just kind of went in and I said that I'm not gonna do that. And you see me using the brush from the bottle to just fill everything in, because it's a lot easier, because you have more space, it's easier to fill in more space. There you go. Oh my god, I can't talk, as if that wouldn't be normal. Then for the second layer, I am just going in straight to the bottle from the brush. I'm applying the product. All I wanted was the product to be on the nail, and then I'm just bringing it to the edges with my smaller brush, with my detailer brush, and that makes your life a lot easier. And also it helps you create like a nice even surface. So yeah, basically that's what I'm doing. I'm just filling in and doing exactly the same thing on the second layer as I did on the first layer. And you can see that the shape is quite easy. I added the ears, I added everything, and then the bottom there looks a bit odd right now, but I'm gonna make like those are not his shoulders, those are gonna be his paws and a little bit of his belly or chest area. So I know it looks a bit weird, but just bear with it. And the rabbit looks a bit weird right now, but again, just bear with him, because he's gonna look weird at the end as well. Just let's ignore that. Let's not see that. Let's just see that he's adorable as well as weird. And yeah, anyway, here I made a bit of a mistake. I went a bit too far off with my second layer, and now I'm coming in with my other brush and I'm trying to clean it up, and I didn't succeed. So I'm going in with a lint-free wipe and some cleanser, and it's really easy to cleanse, especially that I have a nice surface underneath. Then I'm gonna use this cola from the Christy Meakin gel polish collection, and I'm gonna apply a line. So I still didn't remove my sticky layer from the white. I still have the sticky layer over the top of that, and I am just applying this cola exactly on the edge there, and I'm not gonna cure it I'm just using my detailer brush right now. I'm just applying a thin line. As you can see, it's not an extremely thick line. So I'm not applying a lot of product, but try to keep the product consistent. So, you know, it's not a lot more on one side than the other. And now that you have that face framed, I'm gonna take my other brush and I'm gonna flatten it out with a lint-free wipe. And this is really easy, and you can see there's a bit of like a jaggedy edge there at the top, and that's exactly what I want. I wanted it to be flat and like jaggedy, and that's gonna give us the texture that we need. So now I'm just kind of dragging from that line towards the middle of his face, and you can see that behind we are left with like these little fine lines that kind of create that texture. And that's basically it, to be honest. It's such an easy way to create a fur texture, and I absolutely love it. I love how kind of realistic it looks, especially that it takes like 5 seconds to do. And you know, then I wiped my the excess from my brush, because obviously you took a bit of product into the brush without necessarily wanting. And I'm going back in and I'm kind of feathering that sharp line that we had made earlier. And also I dragged a little bit over his like nose area. That's gonna be just a tad darker. So it's not very, very dark. Is just that texture that you need. And you can see how easy it was to create. And then you can also create like irises with this technique. You can create all kinds of things, and it's gonna work perfectly as long as there's something that's a bit textured and it's not like an ombre that needs to be perfect. Then this technique is perfect for you. So I created his like chest area with it, and now I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna do the same with the ears. The only thing that I have to say about the ears and the mistake that I made right now is the fact that I kept the line horizontal when I should have gone vertical, but you're gonna see in a second that I do change direction. So even though you made a mistake, or I made the mistake, it doesn't have to be, because you can see how weird it looks right now. But then I'm gonna go in with my brush and just kind of feather it up a little bit, and that will change the direction of that hair, because obviously the hair is not gonna be like all vertical. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, then I decided to add a nose, and I added the nose with the gel polish, and then I went into the ears as well, but I didn't cure the nose, which was my mistake. I should have cured the nose. So the more it stood there, because it was on a sticky layer and, you know, it wasn't cured, it kind of just flattened out. So the lovely way I made it, it just didn't stay like that. So then I went in with the pink on the ears, and then I went with a little bit more brown on the inside of the ears just to create a bit more shadow, because obviously the ears are a bit curved, so they're darker on the inside. But I had to wipe off the nose, and when I wiped off the nose, I wiped off that texture. Although it was cured, it happens with gel polish. If it is in a very, very thin layer, it's gonna kind of come off. So you can see me fixing it though, like it was really easy to fix, because again, it was a textured area, so that's great. And then I decided to not make the same mistake, and I went in with the gel paint in pink. So yeah, I used, I think, the Lotus Love. That gel polish would have been fine if I would have just put it in the lamp, but then I didn't, so it was my fault. Let's just ignore that. Then I'm just adding the little beans, and I'm doing that with the pink again, and I'm gonna keep the paws white just because this way it's easier to see them. So what I'm doing is just adding like 4 little beans, and then I'm adding a kind of a rounded heart, so you don't have that, you know, spiky bottom. And it's in reverse as well, so just keep that in mind. Then with that brown, I'm adding his mouth, and it's this, I don't know what shape that is, but it's that. and yeah, it's a mouth. Then because I knew I made that mistake and I wiped off the texture, and I knew that eyes are my biggest issue, I decided to add a layer of gel top coat, like the shiny top coat, and this is again from the Kirsty Meakin collection, and give that a cure. And that, you know, is gonna protect that background. Make sure you don't make it very, very thick. Keep it thin, because otherwise you're gonna put a lot of like distance between the background and the eyes, and you don't want that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Then I'm using that blue from the gel paints, and I'm just putting on some eyes on this rabbit. And I'm you know, keeping with the shape of his head basically, and I'm creating these like really rounded triangles. And this, I know they look weird, just give them a second, okay? Then I'm gonna go in with the primary black from Ink London, and I'm gonna do this to it. So basically I'm gonna do a 3/4 line, like a line in at the 3/4 mark kind of, and then I'm just gonna add an outline. I can't explain things, but yeah, that's exactly what I did. Can you see what I did? I left just a little bit of blue, and then I added the black mostly everywhere, and I wanted that blue to just pop out a little bit. So yeah, that's the eye that I went for. Again, can't explain. I don't know why I can't explain, I just can't. But I am going around and I'm making sure that this is kind of, you know, perfect-ish, as perfect as I can get it. And then I decided to add 2 little like eyelashes, because I thought they're gonna be so cute. And I cured that, and now I'm going in with the white from like the primary white. And this is the Steady gel paints. I don't know if I mentioned, but they're really, really pigmented. And I'm adding some highlights in his eyes, and I think that just made it so cute and adorable. I love this rabbit so much. But anyway, now I'm just adding a matte top coat, and I'm gonna cure this afterwards. I'm gonna give it a full cure, and then this rabbit is going to be done. I absolutely love this rabbit, and I hope you do too. These are all done now, and I just, honestly, it melts my heart. Like, look at those eyes. Look at them. Look at the eyes. They're just so cute. I love this set so much. It's probably my favorite I've done all year. Just because those eyes look so innocent, and then the flowers and all the colorful things, and I feel like we all need a bit of color now. It's that time now where we need all the color. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I really hope you're gonna give this a try, and if you do, please tag me in it, because I would love to see. And yeah, with all of that said, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.